The Indiana Fever faced off against the Chicago Sky in a blowout victory, and I have 3 words. Oh my God. Or now you know.
It was the worst nightmare that the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese could have possibly imagined.
Caitlin Clark didn't poke fun at anyone. After Angel Reese went all WWE on Aliyah Boston, she dropped the truth in the middle of court. Clark's answer wasn't just fire.
And look out, Caitlin Clark pushes Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets right up.
This wasn't a basketball fight. The receipts showed that this was rule. What then took place? You won't believe how deep this story goes. Come with me into the chaos they tried to hide. Let's begin.
Class, is she not? Wow. Standard operating procedure foul. ESPN, your anti-Caitlin Clark agenda on full display.
The first game is between Fever and Sky. The WNBA's marketing machine was already full of hype, but it was the game itself that blew the kitchen up.
4 blocks, that's a career high for her. 2 steals, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds. Like, who are you, Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark shows up and does not just want to play, she wants to own. 3 times as many. Boom. 20 points, 10 assists, and 10 boards in the first game. All of that while avoiding elbows, bad calls, and what we'll call accidental contact.
She looked like she was kicking off the dust. Let me tell you, missing bunnies, missing layups. But you know what? She actually didn't miss many. I don't know why, it just seemed like it. And she did great. She had a double-double. She came away with 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 5.
Now her front court partner in crime, Aliyah Boston, is on fire in the paint with 19 points and 13 boards. The absolute center. But the real event, the flashpoint, wasn't written down. That crazy, unplanned mess is what Angel Reese chose to be in. Angel Reese, who had 12 points and 17 rebounds, seemed to think that a hard foul meant hold and swing. Her main goal when she came in was to beat Boston. The game wasn't basketball, it was moving insecurity. The touch was not only cheap, but it was also pointless. It roars with anger. You could feel the stress after Caitlin Clark had just turned off the whole Sky bench with a buzzer beater 3. There was no physical play there. That was anger. He was wearing a shirt. Aliyah handled the blow with ease. She was made for battle, of course. But then Clark comes along. Not with punches or flips, but with fire. It didn't matter how loud she was when she walked up to Reese. She was cool and focused, and it was clear that Reese didn't know what to say in response other than to fall apart even more. That's what she did. Yelling, swearing, and F-bombs on video. Reese yelling, "You really are crazy!" It looked like she was trying out for a new season of Real Housewives. I'm by refs doing their best to look like blind statues. There was no tech, no whistle, and nothing else. Clark left right away. Clark kept her cool after that fight and went right back to setting the defense on fire. Help out here and logo 3 there. She didn't move. Reese, on the other hand, kept going downhill and having more temper tantrums than dimes. Put this video here. It's not just numbers. Clark did a great job with all of them, staying calm, being a leader, and being aware. Oh, and the arena was
Keep for this, Barbie? I think this one's broken! Send it back! Bang! She only had as much passion for basketball as she did for her hate for Caitlin Clark. Let her get up, scream in her face. You know, you should be thanking her, because you would have missed another wide-open layup. They say, but don't lie. Oh, she gonna cry. Wah, wah.
17th of 274 people packed the house like it was Game 7 of the playoffs. Do you want to see star power? It's not fake news. It's time to sell tickets, kid. Also, guess what? Not many of them were there to see Ree Jaw-Jack her way. Sound right. Time. They had another temper tantrum and went to see Clark ball. She listened with attention. However, the anger was unbearable. From the tip, you could see it. It was best said by Jason Whitlock. What is Angel Reese's reason for always putting down Caitlin? One word: having envy. Pure, unfiltered ESPN made people jealous. Reese sees all the love, attention, and fans that she's getting, and she knows that she's not that girl. Not now, never. What does she do? To get in the news, try to cause trouble? It was picked up by the media. Like always, ESPN ran with the question, was it flagrant? And barely mentioned that Clark was the one getting hit over and over again. Double standards that are off the charts. The cherry on top is that Dave Portnoy drops $25,000 on Caitlin Clark, making it a triple-double and winning $350,000. Even the people in Las Vegas knew who was going to win. It wasn't even close. Fever got 93-58. That's not a win, that's a tear down. Angel Reese made only 35% of her shots from the field, missed 4 layups, and was stopped 4 times, including by Caitlin Clark herself. Let's take a break. Caitlin. Clark got in the way of Angel Reese. Soak that in water. Clark fans will cut that scene, make memes out of it, and watch it over and over again all season. It happened the same night that Reese chose to act like a troll in real life. Let's talk about what drives us now. Clark wasn't trying to be bad when she joined the WNBA. Her goal was to win her spot, show that she belonged, and let her game speak for itself. As soon as she goes on the court, though, someone is after her. Built by false news, rivalry, and fans who can't stand the thought of an Iowan white girl taking over their league. Let's say the truth that no one wants to hear. Still, she has never given up, cried to the refs, or had a temper tantrum on the court. She answers in the only way she knows how, which is with lots of intelligence. That's a different story. Being the opposite of Clark has become her whole brand. The problem is that you'll never shine if your whole personality is based on other people's success. There will always be someone after you, and you'll always be one step behind. This game proved that. The difference is not just in skills, but also in how they think. She was born to be a leader. Reese is still learning how to act like a pro, and this game lit it up in a way that has never been seen before. Let us talk about the worry. Have you ever thought about how Angel Reese talks about Caitlin Clark every 3 plays? Either directly or indirectly. The girl thinks of Clark as a rent-a-clown and gives him VIP treatment. There is no competition. There is fixation. While Ree goes crazy with her freakouts, Clark is out here setting records on day 1 like it's any other Tuesday. For Clark, it's just another Tuesday. She was made for this. Reese talks. Clark does it. Let's go back to that. Foul again. It was seen by everyone. It was felt by everyone. But this is the craziest part. Clark wasn't even under Reese's watch when she lost it. Her ex-college friend Aliyah Boston played better than she did, and she lost her temper. Aliyah felt like the paint was hers and hers alone. That was too much for Ree too. What does she do? Push, rap, and talk trash. Anything to take the mind off of the scoreboard that just says failure in big letters. The classic game of deception. Throw a fit when the scoreboard doesn't love you back. We've seen this before. The people who work for the WNBA choked. To be honest, that foul should have been called right away. To call simple violence, you don't need a 10-angle replay. It was obvious and too much. She wasn't aiming for the ball. She wanted to kill someone. Still, there was silence. There wasn't even a notice or a whistle. In the meantime, Caitlin Clark got in trouble last season for talking. She said a word that had too much edge and boom. Tech Ree holds a one-woman cage match on the ground and gets away with nothing. Show me the maths. It's crazy how inconsistent the officials are. But it's more than that. The league's unfair rules are being shown. And this is why Caitlin's answer is so important. She didn't just say clap back. She wasn't tricked. She wasn't mean about it. She made it look good. She answered by passing, scoring, being a leader, and getting a triple-double on top of all that. She let her game make the sky look bad. That's how you drag someone along without saying a word. Let's look at the process that ended the game. In her first game in the league, Caitlin makes her first legal 3-point shot. A crowd breaks out. ESPN has to act like they're not cheering for their teams. There were tears everywhere, even on the sky bench. Clark pulls the defense to the arc on the next possession and makes a bullet pass to Natasha Howard under the basket without looking. Simple 2, boom. For the clean jumper, she comes back, sets a pick, rolls around like a pro, grabs the board, and throws it to Aliyah. Help the 9th person. It's not just numbers. Like a director, that person is in charge of the floor. Easy. Effective and cruel Reese, on the other hand, rock, flop, swear, and repeat. Let's talk about those blocks if we really want to go there. It was so funny when Caitlyn had one on Ree. Timed perfectly, and Reese's face said it all. It wasn't just being turned down. It was a wake-up call. Aliyah joined the block party too. A queue of 3 blocks. One of them hit Reese in the chest and said, "Sit down." Ray's PR team was in trouble because she couldn't make a dunk. Let's get straight to it. It wasn't even close. Not just in the score, but also in the mood. Clark stayed calm. Ree had a mess. Clark was moving forward. Reese had temper tantrums. Clark used to play chess. Reese was moving checkers around. So, it wasn't just a win in this game. Also, it was a claim. The girl Caitlin Clark is here. And Angel Reese is still thinking like she's in college and thinks she can get into the news by being mean. Okay, good job. She was in the news for the wrong reasons. Let's talk about what happened after the game. As Clark celebrated with his teammates, did interviews, talked strategy, and stayed focused, Reese was on Instagram ranting about people who hate him. Not for her play, but for her temper tantrum, she was all over Twitter. She turned back into a joke. Let me say that again. Caitlin Clark made a basket at the buzzer, scored 30 points, and had a triple-double. She was the winner. Reese made a foul, started a fight with words, and then left as a hot subject. The difference is beautiful. Let's not forget what started this whole thing. Being angry about Clark's success. Reese doesn't like how Clark has become the face of women's basketball. Clark didn't ask for it. She earned it with every bucket, assist, and press answer that was calm and thought out. Ree is out here trying out for reality TV at the same time. This is where things get hot. Reese isn't even bad. She's good with the ball, has good footwork, and can lead a defense when she's focused. But her problem is that she wants to be a brand before she is a baller. She worries too much about being herself and doesn't hoop enough. Clark, she only hoops. That's it. There should be no tricks, fake fights, or trash talking on stage. That's why people come. That's the reason why stadiums are full. That's why kids dress in her shirt. She's following the right steps. It's making people like Reese very angry. What do you know? Okay. It's not right that your greatness doesn't worry people who aren't sure of themselves. Clark is like a walking lie tester. She can tell when someone is lying just by being there. She doesn't have to yell, "That's me!" Everyone else gives her facts to help her. Also, could we talk about ESPN for a moment? They did a terrible job covering this game. It was the drama that got more attention than the chicken, and Reese's pranks took up more time than Clark's clinic. They tried to make it seem like a tough battle. One person was trying to win, and the other was trying to stay in the game. Both of them know it. But Clark isn't their story, sweetheart. That's why they move the goalposts again. It wasn't talked about that Clark won the Portnoy's 350K, that fans were shouting MVP during Game 1, or that Clark's teammates looked 10 times better with her on the court. That story is not wanted. They want trouble. And Ree is the personification of strife. I feel bad for them. Clark keeps getting lucky. Also, let's not forget about the mind game. There was a need for Clark to break. She wanted to get inside her head and make her mess up, act out, and look weak. Clark changed the story. The sky bench looked like a bunch of traffic cones because she played faster and harder. That's the real W, not the point number. The destruction of the mind. It's not ending here. This season will show us how to choose between being mature and being messy. Clark is going to beat this league by a mile. It's not because she's flashy, but because she's interested. Her goal is not to make anyone look bad. Her goal is to be in charge in a clean, smart, and unapologetic way. And if Ree keeps trying to get her to act inappropriately, it will only fail more. People are becoming aware. They can see through the noise. They know who the star is and who is trying to get in the way of the picture. Let's say it out loud for those in the back. Caitlin Clark is much better than everyone else on and off the court in terms of skill, poise, and everything else that counts. And this game made it official. Let's act like this is a competitive battle. We can act like it goes back and forth. We shouldn't lie to ourselves, though. It's not close. It was never there. One of them came to hoop. the other person, showed up to have a fit. Fans are aware of the difference. There was no sound from Caitlin Clark when she sent the message. Angel Reese tried to take the stage, but she was burned in 4K. The bars have been set if you're here for real hoops. Want more brutal breakdowns, raw takes, and chaos in the court? You already know what to do. Click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.